The night my baby almost died, I risked everything to save her. The sound of my daughter's shallow breathing still haunts me. One moment she was sleeping peacefully in her crib, the next, her lips turning blue, her tiny chest barely rising. I had exactly 90 seconds to make a decision that would either save her life or cost us everything. If you've ever faced that impossible moment where your entire world hangs in the balance, stay with me. This is the story I never thought I'd have the strength to tell. Before I continue, if this story resonates with you, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel. Your support helps me share these difficult but important life experiences that might help other parents facing their own impossible moments. I never imagined myself as someone who would break rules or defy authorities. Before Lily came into my life, I was Sarah Matthews, responsible elementary school teacher, rule follower, someone who believed the system was designed to protect us. My husband James and I had spent 5 years trying to conceive before our miracle finally arrived, a perfect 6-pound, 8-ounce baby girl with her father's dark curls and my green eyes. The first 3 months were a blur of midnight feedings, diaper changes, and the indescribable joy of watching our daughter discover the world. We'd overcome so much to have her, multiple rounds of IVF, a difficult pregnancy with bed rest for the final trimester, and an emergency C-section that left me recovering for weeks. But none of that mattered when I held her in my arms. Lily was worth every struggle, every tear, every moment of pain. That night began like any other. James was away on a business trip, his first since Lily's birth. I remember feeling anxious about handling everything alone, but also proud that I could manage. I fed Lily her evening bottle, sang her favorite lullaby, and placed her in the crib by 8:30 p.m. I even took a photo to send to James, showing him our peaceful baby finally asleep. I settled on the couch with a cup of tea, planning to catch up on some reading before bed. The baby monitor sat beside me, its soft green light a constant reassurance. Around 11 p.m., I decided to turn in early, knowing Lily would likely wake for her midnight feeding soon. I checked on her one last time, her chest rising and falling in the gentle rhythm of deep sleep, before crawling into my own bed. The monitor's alarm jolted me awake at 2:17 a.m. The harsh beeping cut through the silence of our home as I fumbled to grab it from my nightstand. Something was wrong with Lily's breathing pattern. The monitor was designed to alert parents if a baby's breathing became irregular or stopped for more than 10 seconds. I ran to her room, my heart pounding against my ribs. When I reached her crib, I knew immediately something was terribly wrong. Lily's skin had a bluish tint. Her breathing was shallow and labored, with long pauses between each breath. When I picked her up, her body felt limp, her head lolling against my shoulder. "Lily? Baby, wake up," I pleaded, gently patting her cheek. Her eyes fluttered but didn't open. I grabbed my phone and dialed 911 with trembling fingers. "911, what's your emergency?" The dispatcher's voice sounded distant, as though coming from another world. "My baby, she's 3 months old, she's not breathing right. Her skin is turning blue. Please, we need an ambulance." My voice cracked as I tried to remain calm enough to give our address. "Ma'am, is your baby conscious?" "Is she breathing at all?" the dispatcher asked. "Barely. She's making these gasping sounds, and there are long pauses. Please hurry. An ambulance is on the way. They should be there in approximately 20 minutes. Is there anyone else with you who can help?" 20 minutes. The words hit me like a physical blow. We lived in a rural area outside of town, and I knew the dispatcher wasn't exaggerating. 20 minutes might as well be 20 years when your child is struggling to breathe. "No, I'm alone with her. My husband is out of town. What do I do? Please, tell me what to do." I was sobbing now, clutching Lily to my chest. The dispatcher began walking me through emergency procedures, checking her airway, positioning her properly, monitoring her breathing. But Lily's condition was deteriorating rapidly. Her gasps were growing further apart, her skin taking on a more pronounced blue color. "The ambulance is on its way, ma'am." "Just stay on the line with me," the dispatcher said, but I could hear the concern in her voice. I made a split-second decision then, one that would change everything. I couldn't wait 20 minutes. Lily wouldn't survive that long. "I'm taking her to the hospital myself," I told the dispatcher, already moving toward the front door. "Ma'am, I strongly advise against that. The paramedics are trained professionals with equipment that can help your daughter. The safest thing is to wait." But I had already ended the call. I grabbed my keys and Lily's diaper bag, not bothering to change out of my pajamas or even put on shoes. I wrapped Lily in her blanket and ran to the car. The hospital was 15 minutes away by car, faster than waiting for the ambulance to reach us and then transport her back. I knew the risks. I knew that moving her myself could be dangerous, that driving in my panicked state was reckless, that the paramedics had equipment and training I didn't. But watching my daughter struggle for each breath, I couldn't stand by and do nothing. I placed Lily in her car seat, securing her as best I could while trying not to waste precious seconds. Her head slumped forward in a way that terrified me, but I had no choice. I jumped into the driver's seat and peeled out of our driveway, gravel spraying behind us. The digital clock on the dashboard read 2:23 a.m. The roads were empty, stretching dark and winding before us. I drove faster than I ever had before, constantly glancing in the rearview mirror to check on Lily. Each time I looked back, my heart stopped, fearing I would see her completely still. "Stay with me, baby," I pleaded, my voice breaking. "Mommy's getting you help. Just stay with me." I approached a red light at the main intersection leading into town. No cars were coming from either direction. I slowed slightly, then pressed the gas pedal to the floor, blasting through the red light. I did the same at the next intersection, and the next. Each time, I knew I was breaking the law, risking not only a ticket but potentially causing an accident. But the alternative, waiting while my daughter died in her car seat, was unthinkable. About halfway to the hospital, I heard a sound that made my blood run cold, a police siren. Blue and red lights flashed in my rearview mirror. An officer had spotted me running the lights and was now in pursuit. For a moment, I considered pulling over. It was what the law-abiding Sarah Matthews would have done. But then I heard Lily make a strangled gasping sound from the back seat, and I knew I couldn't stop. I pressed the accelerator harder, the speedometer climbing past 80 miles per hour on roads marked for 45. The police car stayed behind me, siren wailing. I could see the hospital now, its emergency room lights glowing in the distance like a beacon. Just a few more minutes. Just a few more minutes and we'd be there. I screeched into the emergency room entrance, not bothering to park properly. I slammed on the brakes, threw the car into park, and leapt out, rushing to get Lily from her seat. The police car pulled in right behind me, and an officer jumped out, hand on his weapon. "Freeze! Put your hands where I can see them," he shouted. "My baby isn't breathing." I screamed back, already unfastening Lily's straps. "She's dying. Help me." Something in my voice must have registered because the officer's demeanor changed instantly. He holstered his weapon and ran toward me. "Let me help," he said, reaching for Lily as I lifted her from the seat. Together, we rushed through the emergency room doors, the officer shouting for immediate assistance. Within seconds, a team of medical professionals surrounded us, taking Lily from my arms and rushing her into a trauma room. I tried to follow, but a nurse gently held me back. "Let them work," she said softly. "They need space to help her." I collapsed into a chair in the waiting area, the adrenaline that had carried me this far suddenly draining away. The police officer, Officer Davis, according to his nameplate, sat beside me. "I need to know what happened," he said, his tone professional but kind. Through tears, I explained everything: the monitor alarm, Lily's blue lips, the 20-minute ambulance wait time, my desperate drive to the hospital. I know I broke the law, I finished. I ran red lights. I was speeding. I didn't stop when you signaled. But I couldn't let her die. I couldn't. Officer Davis was quiet for a moment. Then he placed his hand on my shoulder. You did what any parent would do, he said. Let's focus on your daughter now. The rest can wait. The next 3 hours were the longest of my life. I called James, who immediately booked the first flight home. I paced the waiting room, prayed, cried, and stared at the doors separating me from my daughter. Officer Davis stayed with me the entire time, even bringing me coffee and a blanket when he noticed me shivering in my thin pajamas. Finally, a doctor emerged, her face serious but not grim. Mrs. Matthews? I'm Dr. Patel. Your daughter is stable now. I nearly collapsed with relief. What happened to her? Is she going to be okay? Lily experienced what we call a severe apnea episode, likely caused by respiratory syncytial virus, RSV. It's a common virus that causes mild cold-like symptoms in adults but can be very serious in infants. Her airways became inflamed and filled with mucus, making it difficult for her to breathe. But she'll recover? I asked, hardly daring to hope. We've started her on oxygen therapy and medication to reduce the inflammation. She's responding well, but we'll need to keep her here for several days for observation and treatment. RSV can be unpredictable in babies this young. If you hadn't brought her in when you did, Dr. Patel added, her voice softening, the outcome might have been very different. Minutes matter in cases like these. Those words confirmed what I had felt in my bones when I made the decision to drive Lily to the hospital myself. Minutes mattered. Waiting wasn't an option. I was allowed to see Lily then. She lay in a hospital crib, tiny tubes delivering oxygen to her nose, monitors beeping steadily around her. Her color had returned to normal, and though she looked exhausted, her chest now rose and fell in a regular rhythm. I placed my hand on her small body, feeling the miracle of her warmth, her life. Officer Davis appeared at the doorway. I need to head back to the station, he said. But I wanted to check on her first. Thank you, I whispered. For everything. He nodded. About those traffic violations. My heart sank. Even knowing I'd make the same choice again, the reality of potential consequences now loomed. Tickets, fines, possibly even charges for evading police, all would strain our already tight finances after Lily's medical bills. I've spoken with my sergeant, Officer Davis continued. Given the circumstances, we're not pursuing any charges. You were facing an emergency situation and acted as any parent would. Tears of gratitude filled my eyes. I don't know what to say. Just take care of your little girl, he replied. That's all that matters. James arrived the next morning, exhausted from his overnight flight but overwhelmed with relief to find Lily improving. We spent the next 5 days in the hospital as she slowly recovered. The doctors explained that RSV is particularly dangerous for infants under 6 months, and that Lily's case had been severe enough that even a short delay in treatment could have been fatal. Your quick action saved her life, one nurse told me as she checked Lily's vitals. Not all parents would have recognized the severity of the situation or acted so decisively. Those words stayed with me, even as we finally brought Lily home, even as life gradually returned to normal. Because nothing was truly normal anymore. I had glimpsed how quickly everything I loved could be taken away, how thin the line between ordinary life and catastrophe really was. In the months that followed, I found myself changed. The experience had stripped away my blind faith in systems and rules, replacing it with a deeper trust in my own instincts as a mother. I became an advocate for infant CPR training and for better emergency services in rural areas. I shared our story with other parents, urging them to learn the warning signs of respiratory distress in infants. Officer Davis became an unexpected friend. He visited us at home after Lily's recovery, bringing a stuffed police bear as a gift. He helped me organize a community fundraiser for pediatric emergency equipment for our local ambulance service. Together, we worked to ensure that other parents wouldn't face the same impossible choice I had. Lily is 5 years old now, a vibrant, healthy kindergartner who loves dinosaurs and ballet with equal passion. She has no memory of that night, of course, but sometimes when I watch her sleeping, I still check to make sure her chest is rising and falling properly. Some fears never fully leave you. I've learned that being a parent means living with your heart outside your body. It means making impossible choices and finding strength you never knew you had. It means breaking rules when necessary to protect what matters most. That night changed me forever. It taught me that sometimes, the greatest act of love is the willingness to risk everything, your safety, your freedom, even your own moral certainty, for the sake of your child. And it taught me that in life's most desperate moments, we discover who we truly are. If you're a parent watching this, I hope you never face the choice I did. But if you ever find yourself in that moment where everything hangs in the balance, trust yourself. You know your child better than anyone. You'll find the courage to do whatever needs to be done. And to everyone watching, remember that life can change in an instant. Hold your loved ones close. Tell them what they mean to you. And never take a single breath for granted. Thank you for listening to my story. If it touched you or you found it valuable, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel. Your support helps these important stories reach others who might need to hear them. And remember, in our most vulnerable moments, we often find our greatest strength.